Hi guys, Merry Christmas. Here is how to do your Buddha statue. Past few months I've been making silicone molds and playing with plaster, epoxy resin, and these mica powders. So here we go. The only thing I didn't give you was a little cup for your warm water, so heat up your resin and hardener. That way it'll flow a little easier. It's a little thick out of the bottle. So get that warming up, get everything set up from your kit, and make sure you prop your Buddha up off the surface so he don't stick to your table or your piece of plastic. Anyway, double check for any chunks we may have missed and give him a little brush down. Next you will mix your resin with your hardener. The one with the beads in it is the resin, and then you got the thinner stuff that is the hardener. I didn't label it because I figured you can figure it out. It's labeled with little BBs in there. How about that? So with the resin, add some pigment to it. This is mica powder. It's a natural stone, that real flaky pearlescent mineral that they pull out of the ground, and add dye to. It's totally safe, non-toxic stuff they use in bath bombs and soap and stuff like that. So anyway, put that in your resin if you'd like. You don't have to do any of this. It's up to you, however you'd like to, whatever you'd like to try. But it's just one method that I've been using. So squeeze that hardener into the resin, and you're gonna want to give it a good shake. Uh-oh, watch out, kitty. And shake it for about 2 minutes to make sure those are mixed really well. You don't want any unhardened resin dripping on your Buddha. You'll have a sticky Buddha. So shake that up and go for it. So this first coat, it'll go pretty thin. There was just barely enough epoxy to get this guy covered, but enough to make it work. So spread that around. This video may end up being a little too long. So, oh well. Let's watch. Ooh, it's like chocolate. Been having fun with this stuff. You can really layer these colors on and make some cool effects. They use this stuff for the granite, those fake granite countertops, epoxy. There's a lot of other videos on YouTube. Stone Cold Countertops has a lot of these tutorials on how to make it look like granite or marble, different stuff like that with these powders and with spray paint. And if you want to check those out first before you get started, that might be a good idea if you want to get a little more crazy with it. Or if you don't want to get crazy with it, you could put all your powders into the epoxy and get her done in one coat and call it a day, and that's going to look pretty cool too. It actually looks pretty good with it after this base coat gets put on, it brings out some different textures in the plaster. So I thought I cut a lot of this out. I did speed it up for you guys, but feel free to fast forward if you need to.
Yep, that's the one.
Anyway, work it into all the grooves. It's gonna start pooling up in the ripples of his sleeves and stuff like that, and behind his ears, just sop up some of those puddles and move it around. So when I got to the back, I started running out. So this one, so I'm putting some thinner in there. That didn't work. Don't do that. I'm gonna seal your guys's first. I'll hit them with a coat of spray paint. That way this stuff will flow a little easier. This was on raw plaster, and it kind of soaked it in, so I barely had enough to work with there. Still worked, but okay. I gave you 2 brushes. This part takes a minute, so grab a friend and get brushing. Get it 100% covered if you want them to look awesome. So you guys get the point. I think I spent about an hour on this guy total, so to give you an idea. And he's gonna take I think about 12 hours to not be sticky. Okay, here we go. The magic's happening. Start sprinkle on the powder.
Okay.
You can do it carefully, or you could do it how I did and just blop it on there randomly. And then the isopropyl alcohol will turn it into a liquid, and it'll start melting together and running, and you get your desired effect. Now the back was a little tricky. Check out this cloud of mica powder. Boof, I missed. I don't know how to get it back there. You can use a straw and blow some in those hard to reach areas. Yeah, sorry about these lids. Careful taking those off. It's boom. Near miss. The powder is not gonna ruin your, well, it might ruin your carpet. But it's pretty washable. People put it in their bathtubs, so.
Wow.
Well, I was saying it's probably still sticky at about 8 hours. At 4 hours, you can recoat it. If you're going to do a 2-coat process like I do here, I do a final clear coat to give it that gloss finish. And save some of your powders for that second coat. I dumped all of it on this one. Not only does it look like I put way too much, but I didn't. Then I was out of powder for my second coat, so I had to grab more. Maybe use about half of it on this first coat. Get it looking just how you want it, or just leave it alone. Sometimes less is more. Kind of felt like, man, he looked really cool right here, and then just the way I am, I keep playing with it. So spraying them down. You see how those kind of they start to melt together a little bit. You spray that alcohol on there. I didn't pack you any gloves because I tried to make a kit that was all self-contained and not a bunch of mixing bowls and stir sticks and a bunch of sticky stuff to keep track of, so everything is kind of kept it in a container, so you don't have to get sticky, and wrap that up and throw it away when you're done. Okay, here's the next morning. He sat overnight. Looks really cool, just like that. And so I will take the second 2 parts and mix them the same way. Put them in a hot cup of water so they could thin down a bit. And you know what to do. Man, he looks cool. Looks like he's been out in the sun way too long. And then you'll, yeah, same process. Dump this on there, brush it around. And I could have just finished all of them and given them out as gifts, but I thought, hey, save me some work and let them in on the fun, right? So make sure he's all coated. This one's really gonna flow now that it's been sealed up pretty good with that first coat, and I'm gonna start puddling up in his belly button and under his armpit creases. So let's do this. This is where I used the straw. That actually worked pretty good. I just kind of scooped some up in the end there and gave it a little puff, blew on it, and it also worked well to flick it out of the container with a straw. And then I get a little too creative and no, leave him alone. He looks perfect. There was a little epoxy left in the bottle, so I added some colorant to that. And drizzled that guy on. Then I felt like, hey, that's too much green, so I added some gold. I was kind of hoping it would put those like veins effects in there, like a marbled look. Drizzled kind of like some lines across him. It was thickening up. You probably get about a half hour in these bottles before it starts getting thick. So you're going to want to get it out, once you start mixing that stuff, you're going to want to get it out of that bottle. Oh, then with the mustard, that's when I really go overboard. Okay. Looks like a bad day at the park. And I think a light sprinkle of some color at the very end is a nice touch to give it kind of a stone look, if that's what you're going for. The other thing that's kind of cool is you could fill up your cups of powder with the resin. So that's, you got liquid of each color, and just dump them straight on top of his head and let them do their own thing. Like a melted ice cream cone of color. Kind of will have like a tie-dye look. Or sprinkle them first and then dump some colored epoxy. So have that cascading color kind of effect. So, okay, that's about it. He's all final coated, and I'll just touch him a couple hundred more times. Dab the spots that look lighter, move some of that color around, and that's what you get. So, hope you guys enjoy it. If not, re-gift it. Somebody will love it. I had a good Christmas. I'm saying this in advance. But I love Christmas, and I love gift giving. So thanks for letting me give you a gift. And I hope you guys have a good day and enjoy it. So call me, text me if you got questions. Like, subscribe, join my Patreon, visit me at whatdidhejustsay.com, and tell your friends. Okay guys, talk to you later. You can watch the rest of this, me dabbing him for another 20 minutes if you'd like. Okay, I'm out. Oh, I'm gonna put some photos in here of my skulls I did. They turned out pretty cool too. Peace.